Greetings once again. This is Stan Houston. The program is called the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience. This is the Christian Entrepreneur Network. And we come your way 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week, but usually around 2 or 3 with 18 to 20 minutes, sometimes 12 to 20 minutes, and there's a good reason for that timing. A way to help you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a marketer, as a person trying to make it in the marketplace to actually make your mark. And today's little program is got a little bit of a catch to it. Let's see what we got. It's Mr. Rogers, the Red Plate Day, and the Secret Sign. I'll say that again. Mr. Rogers, Red Plate Day, the Secret Sign. Some very necessary lessons and probably some secrets that you need to know to be successful today as an entrepreneur. I'm Stan Houston. That little conversation that counts is on its way. The program starts right now. Once again, we are grateful for you. I'm going to give a presentation for a very special audience, and I'm also willing to do it for you. You see, one of the things that we can now do as a Christian Entrepreneur Network is, let's say you have a group of people who are coming together, and you're looking for a program, but you certainly can't afford a high-priced speaker or to bring somebody in. Or you perhaps want something that people could see, listen to, and then maybe talk about at your luncheon meeting. That's one of the services we provide at the Christian Entrepreneur Network. And one of my friends by the name of Bruce Schumann hosts a number of these luncheon, get-together, kind of, networking meetings of Christian businessmen around the church and the community. And they're always looking for something that perhaps they could talk about or discuss or pray about or take action on. As I say, pray about and take action on. And we're going to do it just for them. I can produce in our studio here on Route 77, the Christian Entrepreneur Network, Radio Edge, radio, television, radio media studio, and we're going to produce a program called St. Paul Entrepreneur. And it's a little video presentation. I'm going to show you that St. Paul was an entrepreneur, and there are some very good and powerful strategic and business lessons that you can learn from St. Paul Entrepreneur. Now, if you'd like me to do the same for you and your program, radioedge77@gmail.com, or give me a call, 520-664-7002, 520-664-7002. By the way, my good friend Scott Franco is making up a new business card for us, and I told him I wanted this, just simply my name, after the business name, no title, we don't need titles, and phone number, email, and website. That's it, in that order. Because I would prefer that you pick up the phone and give me a call. Because that's how communication can happen. The email is certainly a way to make contact and provide some information. And the website is a way to kind of check us out and look at us without any connection or communication. And that's important. But I prefer to talk to you, perhaps to type personally to you or to send you an audio postcard. And then, of course, tcenglobal.org, tcenglobal.org. You'll find a lot of free and good stuff there. The background of who we are and what we do. Lots of links to a powerful set of free videos, our teach-abouts and lessons there. And, of course, to all of our podcast programs. And by the way, you will, of course, and you've heard me say this before, You will have to make a decision about how you are going to use audio-branded content, how you are going to use podcasting in your marketing and business communication in the future. It is growing by leaps and bounds, and I keep saying that, and every time I say it, it takes another bound as more and more people, businesses, and celebrities are discovering that the future will be the smartphone. Certainly it is. The tablet, it is. The laptop, decreasingly so, and the desktop computer is practically gone, and people communicate through their smartphone, their personal mobile device. And many of those communications will take place as people will listen to music, and they'll listen to radio programs, and they'll listen to radio-on-demand programs in the digital format. Exactly what you're experiencing now. And you're going to have to learn how to handle that medium if you want to make your mark in the marketplace in the future, and that future starts yesterday. So give me a call, 520-664-7002. If I don't recognize the number, I will probably let you leave a message, and then I'll get right back to you. So please do just that. A couple things that I think struck me over the weekend. Our pastor was talking to us, and he happened to tell the story of Mr. Rogers. And for those of you who are familiar with the North American media scene, for many, many years, a pastor, a very lovingly kind pastor, revolutionized a part of the public television sphere by simply having a daily little program for children. And it was called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And it was meant specifically for small children who could watch it. And it was very popular. It was very successful. It was very thoughtful. And it was good. It just was good. All the things we can say about the modern media, and certainly about television, they didn't really apply very much to Mr. Rogers. This was a kind, loving, slow-moving, very relational, about how men and women could help young children. And by doing that for the children, he was demonstrating to those of us who had children how we might be better parents to our children. So not only was he helping the children by they would sit there and take it all in, those of us who would watch with our children, we could begin to see how our own parenting, our own loving and caring, and even in many ways Christian counseling and connecting with our children could happen. It was a wonderful program. He died about 17 years ago, and just recently there has been a documentary that has come out about how that life well lived. He was a pastor in the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he put that little program together, and then it spread not only from his local arena, but then throughout the national public television circuit. I still remember my own children watching it and learning from it in many ways that were incredibly good. As I said, he had a pastor's heart and a heart for children. You know what? I've come more and more to the view that if you're a Christian entrepreneur, children have to be a prime part of who you are. That's why the Christian Entrepreneur Network, our core cause, when we make a little extra money, when we have a cause to give to, and as we say, every business should have not only their business mission, but their core social, spiritual, relational cause right at the establishment, right at the middle of their business. And thanks to my friend Isaac, as we have established the Christian Entrepreneur Network, he has really convinced me by his own passion as he lives and works and does business in India that we at the Christian Entrepreneur Network should do all we can to help the cause of hungry children in the world. Mr. Rogers had a very unique message. You're special. You're special. And you know, the way the pastor connected that was that Jesus makes it quite clear that we're not always going to have a good life if we follow him. In fact, it's going to be kind of difficult because, you know what? Some people aren't going to like what we do because they didn't like him. But he said, you're special. If you follow me, you're special. You're special people with a special mission, with a special cause. And that's why I love you profoundly. I give myself for you. My spirit will come to you. Follow me. You're special. And what Mr. Rogers did for many children is he just emphasized the fact that just the way you are special. It was a wonderful message. It struck at our hearts, and it showed us that the relationship to Jesus is one of being deeply special. Afterwards, my wife confessed to me, and I think it's the confession of many of us. She said, you know what? When I grew up, I never felt that I was special. I know my parents loved me profoundly, but I never felt special. And I thought about that. And then I said, well, you know, I guess I didn't either. Now, the interesting thing is about that is as we raised our children, we happened to find in a gift shop, and someone else had told us about it, so we found it, and it was a big, bright red plate. You know, big dinner plate. And it was bright red, and all it said on it was, today is your day. You are special today. Now, of course, what that was is on your birthday, on something that we celebrated about you, we would bring out the red plate. And our children began to look forward to it. It was a red plate day. You are special today. Now, one of the things I have learned from some of the mentoring and some of the mistakes I've made is it really feels good to be treated special. Oftentimes in my radio program, I would say, this is for you. I'm trying in many ways to say to people, you know what? You are special. St. Paul, one of the first things I'm going to teach about St. Paul was he began his leadership letters with those wonderful words, I give thanks upon every remembrance of you. I give thanks upon every remembrance of you. Isn't it wonderful to think that someone would give thanks to God because of me, because of you? Isn't it nice to know that someone thinks that much of us? And what Jesus wants us to do is he said, I want you to treat one another the way I treat you. You're special. You're profoundly special. From the very beginning of time itself, I had something in my heart, mind, and spirit long before I even became Jesus on planet Earth that was for you. Can you think of all the problems we would avoid if that spirit of specialness toward one another and toward our work and toward our relationships and toward the businesses we're trying to build and make happen, if the specialness of who we are flooded our soul, the specialness of what we do was central to our mission, and the way we treated others was vital. Also, did you know that Mr. Rogers saved public television? And here's what happened. There was a large movement during some difficult times to cut the cost that the government had in subsidizing public television. And it just so happened that the Congress of the United States, Mr. Rogers came, and he was going to testify on behalf of keeping the funding the same. Well, it was a hard-nosed senator who grilled him. And here's what happened. Mr. Rogers took the speech that his aides and promotional and marketing folks had given him, and he put it aside, and he said to the people there, could I just tell you some stories of how I feel and how we treat children? And that's all he did. He just told very profoundly personal stories about children. And the guy said, okay, you've got me. Give me your speech. And he says, no, I don't have a speech anymore. I just want you to know those are the stories of the children. As I've told you many times, storytelling is the only effective means of communication. Jesus came and he told stories. And it's said that the senator was so deeply moved by Mr. Rogers' stories that he said, you've got the money. He made the sale, saved the program, saved the public television channel, by just simply, heart to heart, he told stories. Well, that's lesson enough right there, but there's one more, and that's next. I'm Stan Houston. This is the Christian Entrepreneur Network, tcenglobal.org/contribute now. I would be grateful. And we'll be right back. And there we go. That's the story of Mr. Rogers. And that's the story of the red plate. You're special. I learned this many years ago, and now I teach this. Everybody you meet is wearing a secret sign. I want you to see it. When you're done with this, today, tonight, tomorrow, I want you to remember this. The next time you see a person, a friend, a colleague, a parent, a child, please keep in mind everybody is wearing a secret sign. That's right. Everybody is wearing a sign, and here's what that sign says. It's invisible, but remember it. It simply says this: please tell me I'm important. Please tell me I'm important. What they're saying is, can you treat me like my wife wanted to be treated? As someone special. Can you treat me a little special? Just now. If you would, I would be grateful. And a grateful and thankful heart is seldom a fearful heart, and oftentimes a grateful heart and a grateful person becomes a very good friend and then customer. As I often say on the radio, just let that sit on your head, sink to your heart, and maybe fill your spirit today and and tonight. I'm Stan Houston. Please stay in touch. TCENglobal.org/contribute now. RadioEdge77@gmail.com. Have a good rest of the week, and we'll be back. All the best and blessings. Remember, Mr. Rogers, Red Plate Club, secret sign. If you do that, you'll have a better week. You'll have a better future. You'll have a better business. I guarantee it. Bye for now.